Hi, I'm Dustin Funhiller. I'm an American and I've traveled to Somalia 3 different times. I'm going to answer some questions.
kulanti wacan oo wanaagsan daawadayaal asxaabteena cusub asxaabta kasii horeysay bulshaweynta Soomaaliyeed qaybaheeda kala duwan bahda YouTube-leyda iyo social media-sha kale dhammaantiin walaalayaal waxaan idinku salaamayaa salaanta islaamka assalaamu calaykum waraxmatullaahi wabarakaatuh. salaan kadib daawadayaal waa walaalkiin Qays maanta waxaan rabaa inaan idinla wadaago ama aan ka hadalno muuqaal la soo bandhigay YouTube 4 maalmood ka hor muuqaalkaas oo ku saabsan dalka Soomaaliya. ninka muuqaalkaasi soo dhigay waxaa lagu magacaabaa Anton Leadov oo ka soo jeedo dalka Russia. muuqaalkaasi ayaa hadalhayn badan dhaliyay dhinaca baraha bulshada. muuqaalkaasina wuxuu u muuqday muuqaal ka fog xaqiiqada ku saabsan dalka Soomaaliya. dad aad iyo aad u fara badan ayaa ka falceliyay gaar ahaan dadka Soomaaliyeed. muuqaalkaasi waxay saareen dislike aad iyo aad u fara badan ayagoo markaasi dacwana ka gudbiyay ama report ku sameeyay. muuqaalka maanta waxaa marti noogu ah Justin oo ka soo jeedo dalka Mareykan. dhalinyaro badan ayaa jirto ka soo jeedo wadamada galbeedka oo aado wadamo kala duwan muuqaal ka soo diyaariso documentary iyo muuqaalo kala duwan. Justin wuxuu ka mid ahaa dhalinyarada ka soo jeedo dalka galbeedka kuna soo bandhigto barahooda bulshada muuqaalo documentary oo ku saabsan wadamo kala duwan. asaga professionkiisa waa dentist balse wuxuu ka mid ahaa dhalinyarada runtii wadamada caalamka wareegto muuqaalo kala duwan ka soo duubto.
Hi, I'm Dustin Funhiller. I'm an American and I've traveled to Somalia 3 different times. I'm going to answer some questions.
insha Allah su'aalo kala duwan ayaan weydiin doonaa. su'aasha ugu horeysa waxay noqon doontaa maadaama aad tahay qof wadamo kala duwan booqdo ama dalxiis u tago gaar ahaan dalka Soomaaliya markaad tagaysid jidka loo maro tigid ka bilow ilaa hoteelka iyo ilaa goobaha la booqdo qaabka kuugu suurta gashay ama jidadkaad u martay maxay yihiin?
When I went to Somalia, I didn't book any hotels. I really didn't plan very much. All I did was make friends with Somalis. Because Somalis are so friendly that if you tell them you're coming, they will take care of everything. They let me stay in their homes. They plan the trip. We had amazing times because I made local friends.
maadaama aad tahay shakhsi western ka soo jeedo ama wadamada westernka ka soo jeedo ama shakhsi cadaan aad tahay markaad booqanaysid dalka Soomaaliya dadku say ku arkaan ama dareenka dadka soo yahay dadka meelahaas ku tuso ha ahaato dadka hoteelada ka shaqeeyo ama dadka aad jidad ku aragto ha ahaadaan say dareemaan ama dareenkooda soo yahay.
When I went around Somalia, people were so friendly, but I went out of my way to make friends with Somalis. There's a big difference if you're just traveling on your own and you're going around, people are going to be very friendly versus if you have a camera and you're trying to take video of people that don't want video taken. And so it gets frustrating because many Westerners go to Somalia, take videos of people that haven't given their permission to have video taken of, and then the Westerners upset that they can't take a video instead of actually asking permission. It might not even be legal to be taking some of that video footage that was taken in this documentary.
Thank you very much. waan ogahay inaad wadamo badan soo booqatay marka kuugu dambeysa aad booqato Soomaaliya waa goorma?
I visited Somalia 3 times, and my last time was 2.5 years ago. I want to go back and visit. COVID has made it a little bit difficult, but I hope to get back soon.
su'aasha xigta waxay ku saabsan tahay muuqaalka ninkii lagu magacaabo Anton Leadov soo dhigay YouTube 4 maalmood ka hor. muuqaalkaasi oo ka careysiyay ummadda Soomaaliyeed intooda badan inkastoo ay jiraan dadka qaarkood oo aaminsan ninkaasi inuu sheegay hadal sax ah ama baraha bulshada ay ku soo qoraan ayuu ku saabsan yahay. aqoon ma u leedahay ninka lagu magacaabo Anton Leadov? ma taqaana adi personally aqoon ma u leedahay?
I don't know very much about this guy. I've never even heard about him. When I did some research, some articles came up about him doing crazy things to get attention. No difference here about the story about Somalia. He does crazy things to try to get people to share his story and watch his videos.
muuqaalku soo dhigay ma daawatay oo uu ka soo diyaariyay dalka Soomaaliya sanadka 2021.
It's pretty far from the truth. What he did is he took whatever he could find in Somalia and try to make it sound as bad as possible. So some of the things are accurate, but he purposely left out any good things and just picked negative things. And that's the problem with how people report. They are very, very biased. For example, he's from Russia. When I went to Russia, I got interrogated for over 2 hours and I missed my train ticket, having to buy another train ticket. When I did a video about Russia, I didn't bring up that story or how I had to buy another ticket. I mean, there were multiple things in Russia. Another time, there were no signs in English and I ended up going the wrong way, getting a flat tire. And that was near a military base. And then they interrogated me as well and had me take my fingerprints and I had to spend the night there and I couldn't leave till the next day, which completely changed all my travel plans. And again, I didn't complain about it because things happen when you travel and not everything's going to be perfect. There are multiple times you go to hotels in Russia and they're a dorm in a building with no sign, no way of finding them. It's really, really difficult. And so I think it's interesting in his documentary that he continually attacks Somalia and points out bad things when there are bad things in his country. There are bad things in America. There are bad things everywhere. Why not, especially Somalia, which already, unfortunately, is often shown in bad light, why not show the positive things about that country? There's already enough false misinformation, and all he's doing is making it worse by adding more.
fariin aad u diri lahayd ama aad u gudbin lahayd ninka lagu magacaabo Anton Leodov iyo ummadda Soomaaliyeed oo ka xumaatay muuqaal ku faafiyay.
The only message I can say to Somalis is don't let this upset you, and please remember, not every foreign person is like him. And there are people like me who have seen the good side. Even though we might be in the minority, not every foreigner only sees bad things about Somalia.
waxaan xasuustaa muuqaaladaada muuqaal ka mid ah adigoo ka hadlayso warbaahinta galbeedka ama dalxiisayaasha galbeedka oo been abuur ka sameeyo wadamo kala duwan sida Soomaaliya oo kaleeto maxaa sababay inay warbaahinta galbeedka iyo dalxiisayaasha galbeedka been abuur ka sameeyaan wadamo qaar sida Soomaaliya oo kaleeto?
Even in my own videos, I pointed out how Western journalists like to show bad things about Somalia because they try to get more views. And by saying they went to the dangerous country or they almost got blown up or this happened or that happened, people are going to share it because it's exciting, it's adrenaline rushing. And so that's what they do. Unfortunately, they lots of times make up stories, they exaggerate things, they aren't really accurate, but they're doing it for shares and likes and not for true reporting.
su-aashayda ugu dambeyso aan weydiin doono Dustin, been abuur noocani saameyn noocee ayuu ku yeelan karaa dalka Soomaaliya iyo dadka Soomaaliyeed guud ahaan dhinaca dhaqaalaha iyo dalxiiska?
Unfortunately, this is the worst part. By showing bad things about a country, people are less likely to visit there. Businesses are less likely to start a business there. And Somalia could use more help. They could have more businesses go there, but people like him are making it so people don't want to go visit there. And so, unfortunately, he's hurting the entire country. And so, it's not just hurting your feelings. What bothers me is the financial impact. The impact it's hurting everyday citizens because now Somalia has less countries to trade with, less businesses being done there, less foreigners trying to invest there, all because he wants more shares and likes. This one person is helping hurt the entire country. While his video was taken down, I was able to get a 16-minute clip of his video, which I will be doing a reaction video, which you can see on the other side of the truth.
aad iyo aad baad u mahadsantiin walaalayaal barnaamijka maanta intaas ayaan kusoo gabagabeynaynaa saaxiibkay ka qayb galayna Dustin aad iyo aad baan uga mahad celinayaa.
Why I discovered the truth of Somalia. See, I recently made this video, the top 10 reasons why you should visit Somalia, and it kind of blew up. It had over 8,000 shares, many people watched it. And a lot of Somalis mentioned how they had never seen a foreigner show the true side of Somalia. And they were all surprised and shocked that a foreigner would actually say good things. So I figured I wanted to let you all know why me as a foreigner was able to see the truth of Somalia. Number one, I'm not rich. See, a lot of travelers that visit to every country in the world, they just get a lot of money from their parents to go travel. My dad was a poor farmer and my grandmother was an orphan, and many of my cousins had very, very little money. And so because of this, as I traveled to the world, I was able to relate to locals, especially locals going through a hard time. Number 2, I'm not famous. On Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. See, my mother was very scared as I traveled the world. She thought so many places were dangerous. And so I'm very close with my mother, and doing the thing that any loving son would do is I didn't want to make her scared. And so I just hid my travels from her. And the way I hid my travels was I put nothing on social media until after I had traveled everywhere. And because of that, when I traveled to places, I wasn't famous. I was just an average guy, and I was able to see what the country was like through a local's perspective because nobody knew who I was. Nobody gave me special treatment, which leads to number 3, I was never sponsored. I paid for everything on my own. The way I was able to pay for it was I worked hard in school and became a dentist. Once I became a dentist, I chose a unique schedule of working 14 days on, 14 days off. And I worked 12-hour days when I worked. Now that allowed me to work just as many hours as anybody working a normal job, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, but I was able to have 2 weeks off and go travel. And this really helped me because when I went to countries, I tried to save money. I tried to travel on a budget. So I'd stay with locals, I'd eat local food. See, the problem is so many people that get sponsored stay in fancy hotels and don't interact with locals very much, and the locals they interact with are famous celebrities. And so I didn't care. I didn't want famous people to interact with. I wanted true, authentic local people. And by doing that in Somalia and other places, I was able to see what local life truly was like. To me, it didn't count as visiting a country if you didn't interact and meet locals. In every single country, I wanted to see what my life would have been like if I was born in that country. And to be honest, I was completely shocked when I went to Somalia and found out that locals that were my age had a nice life. Their life wasn't so bad. And number 6, my goal was never to make videos. See, if you look at my content, a lot of it's photos, and a lot of my videos that I recorded was on my phone. See, I didn't bring a big fancy camera to most of my trips I took to Somalia. And so because people didn't see me as a journalist or a reporter or an influencer, just as a dentist, they told me how their life really was. And not just in Somalia, but all around the world. And so again, I was able to see how the world really was because I wasn't famous and because nobody really ever expected me to make videos. I didn't do it until I literally had traveled around the entire world. Number 7, I'm just an average humble guy. What I mean by that is, again, I'm a dentist, but the apartment I rent, I have flatmates with, so my rent is cheaper. And I don't know any other dentist that rents as cheap as I do. My car, all my assistants have nicer cars than I have, along with phone and my clothes. For example, this might look like Abercrombie & Finch, maybe name brand clothes. I bought it at a used clothes store for literally 1/10 of the price. And so again, I just feel more comfortable hanging out with locals, hanging out with average people. And because that makes me feel more comfortable, and I did that, I was able to see what life was like for locals all throughout the world. And that's why I was able to discover that so many of my Somali friends actually had a decent life, which shocked me. And that's why I made the video. I wanted everybody to know the truth of Somalia. So this is why I'm able to see the world in a way nobody else did, and hence why I started to make videos, so other people could see the world how it really is and not how the media tries to portray it. So if you do like my stuff, feel free to follow me. Know that I have my own money. This is a hobby, so I don't put out content to get followers. I put content out to show the truth. And I hope you enjoy my content. Again, this was a little bit different of a type of video I made. I just thought you should know kind of my background, and I'm kind of a shy guy, so it's weird for me to talk about it. But I thought it was important so you could see what kind of made me different than your typical vlogger or blogger. Again, most of my content is post-done. It's after I went there reflecting on what I learned from those places, which again, I think is kind of unique. So let me know if you like this, and maybe I talk too much about myself. Just let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.